Puberty, it will happen to your daughter. And as a mom, are you ready for all those changes that are going to happen in her body? How can you be the one to have the most important conversations with her? And how can you celebrate your daughter entering womanhood? I'm Robin Jones-Gunn, the author of Before Your Tween Daughter Becomes a Woman, and I'm here to answer some frequently asked questions about how you can have that conversation with your daughter. At what age should I talk to my daughter about puberty? This is a great question because, believe it or not, if it's past 8, it might be too late. And that's because within the school systems, there are programs that used to be in the 5th grade to talk about puberty, and now they're starting in the 4th grade. If your daughter is influenced by any older siblings, or if she has friends that are talking about these things already, she will have heard. She will have some pieces. But you don't want her to walk around with pieces and try to put the puzzle together herself. You want to be present so that you are right there and setting the time to talk to her in a very loving and open way so that she knows that, this is just the chance for me to ask my mom more questions. Every daughter is different. You know your children. You might have a late bloomer, and really 12 is just fine. But don't assume that anyone else is going to do your job for you. You be the one who's available to her to keep that conversation going. How can I tell my daughter about how her body is changing? What I would like to encourage you to do is to don't think that you're having the talk, one and done. You're starting the conversation. So you set aside some time. You have just your daughter there, and she knows you only have eyes for her. And you want to start the conversation with just the gentlest and the most open posture that you can possibly have so that she knows that you are a safe place, that she can come back to you. I think of it as you're building a bridge. So you, as the mom, start building that bridge so that your daughter, who's in childhood still, can see that when the time comes, she can cross that bridge into womanhood. How can I let my daughter feel comfortable talking to me? What I have suggested that's worked really well is to have the time set up when you're going to talk with your daughter to be based around something that's very important to her or very much her love language. For my daughter, when she was 9 years old, I set up a very special tea party because she was a girly girl and that's what she wanted. And when she sat down, I told her, I want to be the first to welcome you to womanhood. As your mother, I want to be the one to tell you how your body is going to change from childhood into adulthood. And here's what happens. And then I could very naturally and easily just talk about the changes that were going to happen to her body. And then when I asked her, so what questions do you have? It was very easy for her to ask those questions. Now, this is different than if a mom says, hey, I know they did a program at school, or I know you heard something from your older sister, but if you have any questions, just come talk to me. This is different because you're the one building the bridge so that she feels that she can travel that for the rest of your lives. How do I know my daughter is entering puberty? Okay, when it begins, it will usually be, first of all, with the hormones. So you'll notice that with the mood swings, some things are suddenly so elevated and they are just so dramatic and you think, where did that come from? Well, it's the very first steps of puberty. The next thing that will happen would be the pubic hair and underarm hair, experiencing her skin breaking out or oilier hair and needs to shower more often. And that may be something you don't notice right away, but you might notice that she has body odor because that's changing with the estrogen that's going through her body and making it so that her glands are different than they were when she was a child. Those beginning evidences, it's usually 18 months before she has her first period. So be on watch for those signs, and when they happen, you be ready, you be proactive, you be the one to say, I want to prepare you for what's going to happen next in your body. How can I change the patterns of my past for my daughter? Moms, you need to take this time to put on your oxygen mask first, and then you put it on your child. So as your daughter is getting older and you maybe had a really traumatic tween years or high school years. And you don't want to just impose that on her that she's going to have a terrible time as well, but rather you take care of settling your past. You may need to really do some work to unclutter your heart. When I think about 41, I went to a professional Christian counselor, and it just opened up everything for me to understand where I had hurts from my past with my mom specifically, because she did not enter in at all when I was in those early tween years, and everything was up to me to figure out. I felt such a sense of shame. I couldn't talk to her about those things. So when I had the counseling that was needed for me to get my heart settled, then I was prepared to be a much more steady mom to my daughter and also our son, and to be able to change that pattern that had been in our family of you don't talk about things, everything is just set to the side, so that now we could have open conversations. And I went to that heart level first to make sure that things were right between me and the Lord. That first important step was what allowed me to be much more engaged with my daughter and to be to her the kind of mom I always wished that I had. These have been some great questions, but moms, I know you probably have more questions, so I want to encourage you to get my book, Before Your Tween Daughter Becomes a Woman. It is a must-have guide for moms, and it will help you because there's a lot more information and a lot of ideas. Then also, look at the links that are in the description because we have some great resources for you. Focus on the Family is here to help parents to go through these different seasons of your child's life. Be sure to like and subscribe, and for more content like this, be sure to follow Focus on the Family.